Well, I'm here with Gino.
Hey, danger, coming with them bangers. Tell me where my paper. Still on the same mission, trying to live major. Don't hate me, hate the game. I'm a player. Feeling like Pac, represent. On my block, try to knock me down, but I come up on top. Yeah, they wanna see me flop. Got a plot, want a lot, I won't stop on my pops. Got so many flows, it's insane. They don't really understand the game. Got a plan and it's plain, I ain't playing. I'm just trying to game. I wanna get that big bag, need that big Rex. Blow up Tic Tac with a blue cheese at. I don't give a fuck about your feedback. Eat that, get back, sit back, watch me spit that kickback. Got so many flows, yeah, they think that I'm insane. Ghetto kids in a lot of pain, all about the bills, ain't shit changed. Danger, coming with them bangers. Tell me where my paper. Still on the same mission, trying to live major. Don't hate me, hate the game, I'm a player. If you a hater, I don't hate you. I'm just really happy that I ain't you. I just wanna thank you. You kept me motivated, so now I motivate you. There's a lot of cake, money on my mind like a banker. Coming through with them bangers, ain't no room for mistakes. Lot of stake, hustle till we get a lot of rooms, lot of stakes. Good kid, but I keep it gangsta shit. All gas, no brakes. Got cash for the case. More cash in the case. More cash in the safe. More cash on the way. Hustling all day. Ay. Danger, coming with them bangers. Tell me where my paper. Still on the same mission, trying to live major. Don't hate me, hate the game. I'm a player.
Danger, coming with the bang. With my fucking baby.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. On the road, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream. We were live yesterday. It was a bank holiday, and Bitcoin not really doing too much. Kind of just going sideways, but I wanted to go live with you guys and cover what I'm looking next here for the Bitcoin price action. We have a potential bullish signal looking to print. Only problem there is if we want that bullish signal to print, we need one more big drop to the downside. So I'm going to talk about what I'm looking for there, guys. We'll talk about the next key levels of support and resistance, where I'm looking for the reactions, and where we think price action is going next. Shout out to, oh man, Vitroy. I don't know how to say that name, but he said, nice hat. Yeah, guys, we got the new Frankie Candles hat, the Frankie Candles toupee, available on FrankieCandlesTrading.com. That would be hilarious if we could just get like this in like a foam little thing that you put on your head. That would be hilarious. But shout out to you, brother. Yeah, guys, we're live naked right now. We're running no Frankie Candles hat. I do have one sitting right beside me here. I do feel naked. My head is cold here. But shout out to you. Welcome in. Let's see. We got Stay Woke in the chat. Said nice haircut. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that. Whoa, the hair is back. Sending my wife out of the room. Shout out to Coin Hoover, bro. Oh my God. Shout out to Coin Spiritor in the chat. What is going on? Yeah, we're trying to spook Bitcoin into making a move here, guys. But sometimes you got to show a little follicle. You know what I'm saying? But let's see here. Shout out to Tommy in the chat. Said Frankie will save us. He knows what to do. Shout out to Tommy. Welcome in, bro. We got Rudy in the chat. Long time no see. Darren does things. Long time no see. Both in the premium live stream a few minutes ago. But guys, we got a quick live stream for you guys. I do have a, let me set the timer here. I do have a meeting I have to get to. So let me go ahead and run this real quick. It is going to be a quick stream, guys. I have no choice. I'm going to get forced off the live stream here. I know nobody believes me, but it will be, I don't know. I guess our short streams are probably long streams to other people. But I'm going to have to jump out of here pretty soon. But I'm going to cover everything with you guys, give you a little bit of an update on what we're looking for, and where we could see Bitcoin go over the next week or so. So without further ado, shout out to Christian Mellis and Frankie looks like he's going to the army. We're going into the crypto war zone here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Gen Z said handsome Squidward looking vibes. Oh, shout out to Gen Z, bro. I'll never forget. I forgot who said it. Somebody said, bro, that's the worst toupee I've ever seen. But low-key, that day, my hair did look like a toupee, guys. This is on my head, I swear. I'm not going to lift it too high because I don't want to reveal any of the glue. But this is real hair, guys. This is, if you kind of look at it from the side of your eye, it does look like real hair. But anyway, no one believes you, Frankie. It's real, I swear, guys. I swear. I would look absolutely insane if I was bald. But anyway, guys, here we are on the Bitcoin chart. And obviously, guys, nothing really too crazy going on here for Bitcoin. Yesterday was a bank holiday. We kind of just went sideways. And we are still just sitting within our major volume profile here. Not this one. I keep doing that. Just sitting within our local volume profile here. But what is coming next? Now, I am more interested in some bigger levels, but I will cover some of the local levels with you guys as well. But just kind of got the full rotation from our value area low here into the POC, into the value area high. If you guys remember last week, I did take a long position, guys. That's right. Frankie Candles got stopped out of that long position. I do not win every single trade, but did get stopped out for a small loss on that position, and if you tuned into the live stream, I actually went over some of the reasons why I thought it would be likely that I would get stopped out of that position. It had a lot to do with kind of fighting the volume profiles. I was viewing that as a little bit of a scalp short position for really just a push into our golden pocket 786 here. There were two that I was looking at. First one was right here on the in confluence with the value area low, just looking for a little scalp down there. Took this off an SFP setup. But of course, we were also looking at the bearish divergences looking to form, which was very likely to give us a higher high. And of course, on Friday, we hop off the live stream. We wiggle around sideways. Of course, it never happens when we're live. We wind up getting that push to the upside. I did get stopped out, and now I have to eat beans for the next week. I'm just kidding. Took a very small loss there, guys. But of course, fading that volume profile is very rarely going to play out in your favor, and it's kind of sacrilegious there for Frankie Candles to fade the profile, but I went ahead and took a shot there. Kind of a boredom trade, to be honest with you, which just goes to show, don't trade when you're bored, guys, because you're not going to be taking the best setups. But of course, very simple, back above the value area low, into the POC, into the high, super high probability move, high probability stop out on the short, and then we got a rotation back from the high on Sunday, back down to the POC, and now we are back down to the low. So what is coming next here for Bitcoin? Now, of course, locally, we can keep a view on this local volume profile. Value area low sitting at $66,857. POC sitting at $68,937. And then we have the value area high sitting up here at about $70,850, right? So we can just view this as a typical volume profile. However, when we look at this, guys, I am more interested in higher time frame levels. The only trades I'm holding right now are still my shorts from much higher. Obviously, you guys know profits, massive profits locked in on those shorts. So guaranteed winning trades there. But overall, we do have a potential daily red dot incoming, and we covered this extensively on last week's live streams. If we get that daily red dot to print, we are going to be looking for a potential daily bullish divergence, because when we zoom out here and we look at our higher time frame support levels, of course, we do have our previous volume profile from 2021. Value area high sitting at about $55,000. POC, the absolutely critical level of support that we must hold on top of, sitting at $47,450. On top of that, we do have a weekly, monthly and weekly NPOC, as well as a weekly horizontal just above that value area high. So our biggest level of support underneath us is still going to be that 55 to pretty much $58,000 zone. So I'll pull that up here on the chart. You can see, right, just from a horizontal perspective, take our volume profile off the chart here. You can see confluence down here between 58 and 55,000. And then the higher time frame MPOCs to the upside, right, ignoring the dailies for now, are sitting closer to about, $86,000 to $95,000. Up here, we do have confluence with our larger volume profile as well. Pulling that profile, you have the value area low there. If we pull up our visible range volume profile, or our VPVR, VRVP as some people like to call it. Whoops. What did I just pull up there? I guess I didn't click it. But you can see here, low volume gap still sitting there, really sitting between about 81,500 all the way down to about 70,000. I'm going to be looking at this as 72,200 because we have our wick right there. And I'll cover this kind of in detail, but we do have this low volume gap above us. So obviously last week, kind of the focus of our live streams was, hey, if we get the move to the upside, $72,200 is kind of the level to break in order to see those shorts squeeze to the upside. Now, not only do you have the theory of the shorts up here potentially causing the squeeze to the upside, but when you start to look at that volume, we talk about how we are potentially in an environment where you could break back into that low volume gap. Obviously, fast move up does oftentimes create a fast move down, and if we're able to break above that wick and squeeze the shorts, you are in an environment there where you can see a fast move back to the upside. These low volume gaps do not hold price up or down very well. Of course, explode through it. This kind of created that gap, and then we come back through it. We knew once we lost this low at 80,500, we'd likely see a big capitulation to the downside just based off the volume. Massive low volume gap, no horizontal levels, just nothing but air underneath you. And when you fall into those low volume gaps, what is likely to happen? Price is going to seek out the next highest volume node. So obviously we are, just from a basic standpoint, we have pushed into major support, which is this high volume node. We also had a ton of horizontal levels in there as well. As you can see here, we're holding on top of that support currently. When we talk about a move back to the upside, right, we do have liquidity sitting above that $72,235 high. If we do see the squeeze, you also have the assistance of that low volume gap above you. So just understand that if we are able, right, we are going to be interested in short positions up here at some very key levels that we have above for some shorts in the premium Discord. But at the end of the day, they are somewhat risky, because if we do not get the sweep of the high for the correction back down, right, this could very quickly turn into a big short squeeze through the low volume gap. So kind of like a, if we see the confirmations, I will take that trade. But, if we do wind up squeezing above that level, risk management is going to be very important on that trade, just because, of course, right, low volume gap, short squeeze into the upside could get exciting to the upside very, very quickly. So now, if we were to see that just from a high time frame view, guys, I'll cover the lower time frame, the local levels down here, and the local levels, kind of inside this low volume gap, getting closer to $75,000. But from a high time frame view, let's just assume we did get up here and see the short squeeze to the upside very aggressively. The next real high time frame resistance sits between about $86,000 and $90,000. We have the monthly, the weekly MPOC, macro value area low, and when we look at this just from a auction market theory perspective, right, you have your upper value here, you have your lower value down here, right? This is literally how we were able to predict if we lost this low at 80,500, we'd likely get the fast capitulation down through the low volume gap. And when you lose one area of value, right, price is very often going to seek out previous value. And we even saw that lower volume profile like fill poetically, right? You get inside the value area high, POC, value area low, and now we're kind of just bing-bonging around in this profile. But in the same kind of manner, right, if we're able to break out of this volume profile and see those short squeeze to the upside, right, from a high time frame perspective, really between about $84,000 and $90,000 is that massive level of resistance. So if you're here for the high time frame levels, I would say this is your biggest level to the upside. Right? I think the thumbnail here was biggest levels to pay attention to, right? And again, I'm not saying we have to get up here tomorrow or anything like that, but it's an if this, then that, right? If we see those short squeeze, just understand things can get very exciting through this low volume gap. Almost every time we look at this, if we see the move that would trigger that fast move through the gap, we look at this and we're like, guys, look how magical that low volume gap was, just like it was back here. We even marked this out. Like if we lose this, we're probably going down into this profile to the end of the gap, sitting around $67,000 to $70,000. I mark it out like this, and it plays out like literally almost perfect. You get the bounce, you break in, whee, right? Big move down through that gap. And then where do we get the sticking point? Right on that next high volume node. These high volume nodes are magnets. High volume nodes are magnets. Low volume nodes are just like, I don't know, just like big holes, either to the upside or the downside. So understand that on the way up. If we get a big push up, squeeze out the shorts, no shocker there, flying through the low volume gap. And of course, the theory of getting stopped out of the shorts, creating market buys, creating that big aggressive move to the upside, it all kind of makes sense to me. So high time frame, I would say $58,000 to $55,000, major level of support. And for the big bounces, guys, when we look at that daily time frame, right, daily red dot looking to print, if we can get this to start to print, I think just like last week, right, we came down, we almost printed it, we got the bounce, just kept going sideways. Now we are approaching that zero line once again with money flow rolling back to the downside. And when I look at this momentum wave, guys, this is very, 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 I just can never unsee this, guys. This looks like it may, if we get that red dot and get a big push to the downside, we could be in a situation, we've covered this before, to look for that daily bullish divergence, which would indicate a break of this low. And it's kind of beautiful because we do have that massive level of support between the weekly and monthly MPOC and the weekly horizontal. And on top of that, from a structure perspective or a volume profile perspective, it is also confluent with our value area high of the previous range. This is a very, very big level of resistance and also a very important level of resistance because once we get down here, guys, not only is this massive support, if we get the daily bullish divergence, that would be nice for a potential bounce. However, if we're unable to hold this level, if we're unable to hold this level, the biggest level underneath us, get accepted inside the value area high. Let's say we just don't get a bounce off here. I would expect some kind of reaction at this level. Very confluent level of support, high time frame level of support. But once you get accepted into that value area high, the next likely place for price to go becomes that POC of the range sitting at $47,316. We do not want to lose this level, guys. It's the same level we've been covering. And again, part of the reason I didn't go live yesterday was number one, it's a bank holiday. Number two, not really too much of an update from a high time frame perspective, right? Like we all know, once we lose this POC, for me personally, I'm going to be expecting a much bigger drop to the downside, targeting around $30,000. This is the biggest level on the chart right now, in my opinion. Of course, we could bounce here, but if we wind up losing this, guys, it could cause a massive drop to the downside towards 30K. I've said it before. I will say it again. Very, very key level. Call it $47,450. It's just based off the volume profile theory. Just like back here in the previous bear market, break above the high, hold it at support. Next likely place for price to go is the POC. And then once you get above that, of course, the value area high. Same thing here. We break below the high. POC is next, just like this, right? And then break the POC, looking to go to the low, just like this. Break above the POC, go to the high, right? Just full rotation of that volume profile. I'm hopeful that we don't have to deal with that, but it is in the cards, right? I cannot rule this out as a potential situation. But until we break through all this massive support that we have, I mean, technically you could really drag this down to 47K, massive, massive level of support. But from a trading perspective, from a confirmation perspective, I prefer for a bigger bounce to come down here and break the low. I cannot guarantee this will happen. But I think if we're going to see it, that daily red dot starting to print could be the thing to start that bigger move to the downside to take out the low into that confluence, right? And then, of course, with the way the momentum waves look here, looking to print the daily bullish divergence, that would be a nice thing to look for at the low to anticipate a bigger bounce to the upside. And then as we push up, we could start to question, is this just going to be another lackluster bounce to the upside? Because remember, if money flow is coming out on that bull div, that is treated differently than when you have a daily bull div with money flow coming up, right? Lower lows, higher lows, money flow comes up, continuation to the upside. If this money flow is coming out, we could still technically look at that daily bull div as a bounce opportunity, but once we start coming up, we could start to reread the price action, look at the new information that's forming, and then identify if this is going to be a lower high for a bigger continuation down, or if that money flow is going to eventually start coming up, and we can look for a bigger continuation, again, potentially through that low volume gap, right? Targeting the bigger target here at about $86,000. So that's a little bit more of the higher time frame perspective. I really do prefer, again, not from a probability perspective, but just from like a preference perspective, I would really like it better if we come down here and take out the low first. But of course, we do have some local levels in here that we can look at, which I will cover with you guys in a second. But just to kind of, biggest levels I would mark off on your chart from a high time frame perspective, 58 to 55K. And then up here between about $84,000 to $90,000. And again, it's just volume profile rotation, right? If we get out of this volume profile decisively and we start impulsing out, where is price likely to gravitate over time, right? I'm not saying you can't get reactions off the local levels we're going to talk about, but over time, right, if we get accepted out of this volume profile, price could seek out previous value, which sits all the way up here towards about $84,000 to $86,000. All right, let's see. Where is the hat? Hey, for real, where is the hat? I'm not gonna lie, guys. Hats are like a emotional support animal for me. Hat is right here. Hat is right here. I was just feeling a little freaky today. Feeling a little freaky. I always get a haircut and then I just wear a hat. And I was like, why am I getting haircuts if I just wear a hat all the time? Let's see. Hair is looking nice. Shout out to Mr. Cali. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Shout out to Alexandra G in the chat. What is going on? Shout out to Perry said, hey, who is this? Give us Frankie Candles with the hat back. Where is the hat, Frankie? I'm used to you wearing the hat. Yo, shout out to Perry. Guys, I'm not even Frankie Candles. Yeah, we kicked Frankie Candles off the channel. Do I recommend any books? Shout out to Derp Codes. Trading in the Zone, probably the one I would recommend over all of them. But to be honest, guys, I have read a decent amount of books. But from a trading perspective, I haven't even read that entire book. But Trading in the Zone is like one of the highest recommended trading books. So yeah, check out Trading in the Zone, I guess. But I don't really have any other really like super good recommendations for you other than that, to be quite honest with you. Shout out to J Dance. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you. He said, just wanted to say thanks for all you do for us. I love making money trading, and you do all the heavy lifting, a.k.a. TA. Shorts will continue to print. We need that bull div. Let's go. Shout out to J Dance. That is my preferred scenario, bro. And thank you for the super chat, and thank you for the kind words, bro. We come up here. This is what keeps me coming up here every single day. If I could, help one person in the chat every day, it's worth it for me. Darren says, Freaky Frankie. Shout out to Darren does things. Mental game of trading is decent too. Shout out to Darren. Yeah, I would recommend if you're going to read any trading books, read them. A lot of them are on trading psychology. Read the ones on psychology, guys. It is the thing that will make you have your biggest leap in trading. There's so many strategies out there you can use, whether you're using my strategies, whether you're using, it doesn't matter. ICT, patterns, order flow. I recommend order flow and volume profiles because volume is what moves price. But at the end of the day, there's so many strategies out there that you can make money with, but all of them are useless without the correct psychological discipline, I'll call it. It's not trading. It's not mentality like, I can do it, right? It's not that woo-woo stuff. It's actual emotional and psychological discipline to make decisions based off your system and not based off your emotions. That is the most important thing on top of risk management, right? Like the best strategy in the world, the best indicators in the world are not going to do you anything if you don't have the psychology or the mental discipline to actually take profits, set your stop losses, manage the risk. It's all useless. So I don't want to spend too much time on that because I talk about that a lot. But I'll just give you the simple analogy. The best meal plan, the best gym, the best personal trainer is absolutely useless if you do not follow those plans, right? It's like the easiest way to look at it. Trading is almost the exact same thing, right? Oh, I use the best strategy. Well, yeah, but when you take the trade, do you take profit, right? Do you actually execute the trade when you see those setups present themselves, or do you get scared and not enter and then enter late and then close at a loss? It's the same thing as working out, right? Like, oh, yeah, I got the best meal plan, dude. You know, my personal trainer trained, whoever, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? My gym has the best equipment, right? But if you don't go in there with a disciplined mindset to put in your 100% work, 100% effort every time you go in, you don't skip days at the gym, you don't cheat when you're not supposed to, right? You don't follow that meal plan. It's all useless, right? You can essentially have a fat personal trainer, right? They can have all the best knowledge on how to get people fit, right? But if they don't have the discipline to follow those rules or the work ethic to put that work in and follow the plan, they can still be fat. Doesn't mean the information they know is bad. It just means that their skill, right, or their knowledge is useless without the discipline. Trading is exactly the same. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend reading books on strategies or anything also because strategies change over time and stuff. And, I don't know if you're reading a book from, I don't know, volume profiles are super old. But I definitely focus on learning a lot about the psychological discipline. Like the psychology of trading is absolutely the most important thing. Let's see. Shout out to K Diggity, said I heart Phoebe. Shout out to K Diggity. Phoebe says hi. Shout out to K Diggity. That's Phoebe's girlfriend. If you don't know who Phoebe is, it's my pet goat. K Diggity is Phoebe's boyfriend. I'll be honest. I need to work on the profit taking, and thank you for the reminder, brother. Yeah. Shout out to Matt. 100%, bro. You got to pay yourself, right? I always say singles and doubles, right? A lot of people want to get into trading. They want to get rich overnight. They want to swing for those grand slams every single time. And if you're not managing your risk and you're going for, it's basically gambling, right? You're making a prediction. I think price is eventually going to go up to $90,000. I'm just going to long here, and I'm either going to make a bunch of money or I'm going to lose it all. That is not trading. That is gambling, right? You want to go for singles and doubles when you see repeatable patterns in the market. And that's why I love volume profiles. Even within this, I haven't really been super active on the local price action here. But just for example, I could pull this up during pretty much any price action that we have, right? We can make big money on the drops to the downside, which we did on the shorts. But even when you're going sideways, right, this is kind of the bread and butter of the volume profiles, because when you look at this range, right, when you understand that your fair value is within this value area, right, up towards the highs is where you want to look for shorts. Down at the lows is where you want to look for longs. Sure, this is not a 70% move where you're going to, I guess depending on your position sizes, right, you can make a really good amount of money on an 8% move. Even this, right, a little 5% move, plenty of room to make some money. But these are singles and doubles, right? Like you get a single or maybe a double, and you get a single or a double and then a single, right? This will make you money over time, right? This is how you make money trading. And then oftentimes when you are looking to trade within this strategy, right? Let's say you're trading the volume profiles, right? You take a short at the high, right? Of course, you have to understand the entry triggers, right? You look to go from the value area high to the POC, lose the POC, go to the low, right? You're long in the lows, looking to go to the POC, value area high, et cetera, et cetera. These are singles and doubles, right? You can make money here, right? Maybe you close the whole trade. Maybe you take a TP1, TP2, stop loss to break even if you think there's a continuation up. Oftentimes when you trade these ranges, right, you're taking high probability entries on the failed auctions below the value area, right? Clearly on any value area, right? Not just this one. It's not just cherry picking this. Come up to any other volume profile, right? Like you get the same thing, right? Part of the reason we looked for the short here at $98,000, well, guess what? You're deviating above the high. You're pushing into the macro POC. We get the confirmations. At that point, our thought process is get the rotation back into our lower range. Once you get accepted below this value area high, POC is very likely next. Once you get below that POC, value area low is very likely next. And then in this case, right, we've taken TP1, TP2, right? But when you see your high time frame money flow coming out like we did here, when you have a high time frame bearish for an overall continuation deeper into a bear market, which was 100% the anticipation here, that single or double can easily turn into a grand slam. But those grand slams hit you by surprise sometimes, or not even necessarily by surprise, but you might not know that when you short 98K, that this is going to be the move that brings you down into the 50s, right? You might just be viewing this as a rotation of this local volume profile right in here, right? I'll make it blue just so it stands out a little bit more, right? You're looking to get back into the high, POC, lose the POC, back to the low. But then your higher time frame bias, you could say, well, hey, I took TP here, took TP here. Now I'm going to hold a percentage of this for a way bigger swing trade to the downside. I'm not always just shorting here saying, that's it, this is the top, right? Because what happens if you put in a higher low and a higher high, right? You have to understand that the market changes daily. If we had the signals to look for the higher low and the higher high, we probably would have closed that short, right? So singles and doubles will make you a millionaire. Going for just gambling on grand slams every single time will very likely make you go broke, right? Or at least blow up your account. Hopefully not make you go broke. Hopefully you're not risking more than you're willing to lose. You know, singles and doubles are the bread and butter of my personal trading strategy. It's done me very, very, very well. Not only getting the singles and the doubles, but also the massive grand slams, like the most recent short positions from $98,000 and $90,000. Yo, the no hat is freaking people out, bro. I love it. At what time do I think the red dot comes? Shout out to Philip on the daily. I mean, only thing I can really say here is, it's very hard to call timing. But, even here, right, it looked like it was going to come, and then we get support on the 0 line. Eventually, this is going to cross over, right? I would say probably somewhat soon, maybe in the next day or so. But, of course, that could change, right? If we just get another bounce, right, and then this could very easily, there's never going to be like a guaranteed, like, oh my God, we're coming down. It has to cross over. But typically, right, like eventually this is going to cross over. We're very close to that 0 line. Maybe today or tomorrow we'll see that red dot print. And another thing that we can look at here is if that daily red dot prints, so we come on over to the 80 and 90 minute money flow, you can see the 80 minute money flow is starting to come out, and the 1/16th of the daily, which is the 90 minute, is starting to cross over into the red as well. So if we get that daily red dot sooner than later, I can't guarantee it's going to happen, but we would look at this 90 minute money flow. If you see the daily red dot and then that 90 minute money flow crosses into the red, that is a market cipher B 116 strategy. And then, of course, you would look at that 90 minute money flow as a continuation of your downtrend, right? You need the daily red dot. It's not printing just yet. But that could indicate a little bit of a breakdown of this local range. If we break down out of this range, right, we still have our larger profile here with the, lose the POC, start breaking these lows, right? We could start heading down towards the value area low at $59,800, right? Which, again, my preferred scenario here is hopefully that daily red dot, just the way this momentum wave looks to me, it looks like you could take out that low into your key level of support for that bullish divergence. Now, locally, I want to bring up some of the local levels with you guys as well. I'm not as interested in these levels. It's kind of similar, right? It reminds me of this price action here, right? Once we broke out of here, we had some levels in here, right? We had like a daily MPOC at like $82,000. We had a 786 sitting here as well. I just wasn't super interested in those levels just because there was not a lot of confluence. And what happens? We melt right through the levels. It's very similar here. I prefer to look at the volume profiles, which would tell me stay below the high, lose the POC, right? And again, daily red dot with the 90-minute money flow would indicate a continuation of the trend at least to the value area low, and then hopefully we can deviate into this macro support for the daily bull div. But we also have some local levels here. Again, I'm not as interested in these. It's, again, very similar to this. If I pull from the low to the high, you have a golden pocket 786 here. We have some confluence. I'll take off the range real quick. We have a daily horizontal in confluence with the 786, and we have a daily MPOC in confluence with the golden pocket. These are local levels, guys. Again, I'm not saying that you can't get big bounces off of them, but for me personally, right, like golden pocket, daily MPOC confluence, maybe for me, a scalp opportunity. And again, right, if you're looking for a low, a high, a higher low and a higher high, right? Low, high, higher low, higher high, crack structure to the upside. That higher low has to, in my opinion, come in between 64,842 and 62,500. Once you lose that 786, I would say it's very likely that we're going to see a break of the lows. I prefer the scenario where we take out the lows. I can't guarantee it happens. So if it does not happen and we get a little pullback, this is the level to look at. That's the line in the sand. Lose the 786 at $62,500. That's where I look for the bigger drop. So I'd be interested in scalps at these levels. And then like hyper locally, you do have a daily and a daily MPOC confluence here. This is also confluent with right? This is just lower time frame stuff, right? We're currently attempting to bounce off the golden pocket, but we front ran that daily naked point of control. So like locally, if you're looking for like low time frame levels, these are kind of the levels to look at. 67,274 to 66,188. If we pull up our local range here, still confluent with the value area low. I can't personally see any real confirmations forming here. Again, I'm trying to keep it a little bit higher time frame because I'm personally just not super interested in the lower time frame trades right now. But, you know, until we break out of this range, this volume profile is valid, right? You have the support down here below the low. If we get confirmation here, you could get accepted back into the range. I would just view that as a volume profile, right? Once you lose this 786, I'd be looking to take out this low into the golden pocket. You know, bounce opportunity. With that daily red dot incoming, that's not really what you want to see for a big move up, right? If we were going to bounce here for a massive move up, you know, we would want to see not money flow coming out on the 90-minute. We would not want to see a daily red dot incoming. So that's why I really do prefer a bigger move to the downside. I can't guarantee it. If we get the move up, we have our major level of resistance. For me, which of course, you know, you can look at the volume profile again for the scalpers out there. You know, we pull up to the value area high, right? You know, opportunities for shorts. The bigger level, in my opinion, is going to be sitting up here at the daily MPOC at $73,431. So I really prefer for a bigger short position, come up, take out these highs, right? Get a setup in here, and then get a bigger drop down. But of course, it would have been the same thing here. But we don't get up to that level. What do you have happen? You push into the value area high. Higher highs on your price action, lower highs on your momentum waves. You get the bear div into the area where you're looking for shorts. At that point, potential opportunity. To look for a move from the value area high into the POC for the high probability magnetic rotation down to the value area low, which technically got tapped here. So is this a place where I would look for a fresh short? No. Is it a place, am I long? No. I'm just kind of letting things settle. I personally am interested in looking for the bigger levels. But this is your local range. Lose the 786. I'm looking down here. I don't even really love these levels, but potential scalp opportunities, but really just treating this as a range. And then for the bigger bounces, I would really like to see that daily bullish divergence. I know a lot of people are not here looking for the hyper local scalp levels, which I would consider these, but you know, there's two major things that you can look for here. It's either going to be, you know, if we don't bounce from here, right? It's either going to be you're looking to hold that golden pocket 786. I'll just pull this manually, right? You're either looking for higher low, higher high. Again, I don't love it. I would prefer to put in the lower low on that daily bull dip. Hopefully that makes sense. I want to keep it nice and simple, right? I want to like over confuse people with all these different levels. You know, why is that, right? Well, these are our high time frame levels, right? These are all just like dailies, local levels where you can catch some day trades or something. But for the bigger moves, guys, I would say, you know, $84,000 to $90,000 or $55,000 to $59,000. And of course, that will be confluent with our lower volume profile, right? Not only would you potentially get the daily bull div, right? But this would also be a very simple, right? It's also very difficult for me to take longs in the middle of the volume profile, right? Typically, I like shorts at the highs, longs at the lows, right? So we get down here, potential daily bull div, deviation below the low, get back into the range. And then at that point, right, we now not only have come down to tap key support, but you also have a massive high time frame reversal signal, which would be that daily bullish divergence. We don't have that down here right now. It's very similar to like this, right? Sure, we get a little bit of a retracement, which we actually caught along here on the $85,000 low for the move up to catch the short all the way back down, because that was the overall longer time frame bias, was for a big capitulation to the downside through the low volume gap. But down here, right, like it also adds to that theory, because it's not like we got this big move down with beautiful daily bullish divergences indicating a massive move up. You got all your money flow coming out. Obviously, you're in a massive downtrend. Much higher probability, especially when you see the weekly money flow crossover. A lot of people tell me, hey, Frankie, I love the volume profiles. I'm catching the longs at the low. I'm catching the shorts at the highs. But when do you know, right? Price is not going to range forever. Eventually, it's going to break up or it's going to break down. How do I know whether it's going to break up or down? Well, very simply put, money flow, right? You see that weekly money flow crossing into the red. It is much higher probability, number one, that this downtrend is going to continue, right? Money flow indicates the overall trend. It does not indicate the bounces, right, or the ebbs and the flows, or I should say like the ebbs, the flows, the ebbs, the flows, the ebbs, the flows, right? It indicates the overall trend. So when I see this money flow trending out over time and it's about to cross into the red here, that tells me that there's probably a high probability that we're going to lose this range and get a big drop to the downside. And where are we going to get gravitated to? Right into the next area of balance. If you guys watched the live streams back a while ago when we were still not only at 108K, but even just down here, this was very clearly the highest probability outcome. Not only to get the big drop to the low volume gap, but to come down here to this very specific range that was respected to the dollar. You could see it right here, like to the pixel, down to that value area low. And this money flow really, really does help you identify, like I said a million times up here, if this was going to be a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high, what do I need to see in order to anticipate that? I need this money flow coming into the green, not crossing into the red. Right, and that's where I inverted the money flow. I was like, if I saw this, right, well, then I could indicate, crossing into the green, looking for a big move up. This is not what you want to see for a big move up. This is what you want to see for a continuation down. Very clear, right? Like, it wasn't even that difficult of a call. But of course, right, emotionally, a lot of people wanted to hold this higher low, which we talk about. Not all higher lows are created equal. You're going to put in higher lows and higher highs until the trend changes. What if there was a way to identify if that trend was going to change? There is, right? So there you go. But that's really what I'm going to be looking at overall. I think that is most of the important stuff. Locally, if we get the push to the upside, $72,230 is the wick in order to potentially start that short squeeze. If we do get that, I will be interested in potential shorts here from pull up the daily MPOC, right? You have the daily MPOC, the anchored VWAP, and the golden pocket. That's kind of the next local level. But again, got to be careful there. I really would like to see, like, I need the confirmations, right? I would really want to either see an SFP into resistance, right, with a simple SFP confirmation, or maybe a little push in here, we hang out, and then you really got to lose that key level at $72,237, right? Because if we get up here again, you have to be careful of those short squeezes incoming. But there you go, right? We don't have to worry about that or even think about that as long as we're within this range. Technically, you went from the high, POC, low, low, POC, high, high, POC, retracement, POC. We start losing these levels and can't hold that 786. Looking down to the low. Simple volume profile theory. If we get the bounce out of nowhere or we bounce off of those local levels, if I'm not in a long position, I will just patiently wait for a setup back up here. Let's see. Shout out to Jesse in the chat. What is going on? Welcome in, Jesse. Hope you're doing well. I don't like Goblin Town. I want out. Shout out to You Grow, I Grow. I know nobody likes Goblin Town. We get stuck at this level every time. Yeah, this is, yeah, we got the resistance here. You also have a daily MPOC on this value area high. You know, I hate to bring up like all these different volume profiles, guys, but at the end of the day, these are all valid, right? You have this volume profile, right? And then you have the local volume profile. But again, two different viewpoints, right? You're just looking for little day plays through this range, right? But overall, your bigger profile is sitting here. So we'll see. Daily red dot prints. We start losing these confluent levels. I would prefer. You know, even at this point, right, like another reason I've explained why I'm not really super interested in this is if we long down here, right, and I'm not saying you can't catch a scalp, right, but it would be hard for me to view that as a beautiful, massive move to the upside. Why is that? Well, you're below the POC, you're below the value area high, and then the volume profiles would technically call, even on a back test of the POC, for an overall continuation to the low. So it's just not really like my preferred place, right? I like longs at the lows, and I like shorts at the highs. So down here, it's like not really an area that I'm super interested in massive moves. If anything, right, I'd like to see like a retest of the POC, which technically we're above right now. So we'll see what happens. But, no confluence there on the money flow, daily red dot incoming. So kind of just sitting on my hands here. And a super boring price action. I really hope that we don't wind up doing one of these, right? I was telling the premium Discord earlier today, man, I hope we do not enter something like we range around here. God, it's going to be so brutal for content. Nice for the trades, but just brutal to come up here and be like, yeah, guys, long time for here, ever since 108K, high time frame bias has been the same. And then here, it's like, all right, guys, looks like we're right on track for our long time frame bias. And then all throughout here, long time frame just remained exactly the same. It's just gets super repetitive to kind of talk about that stuff. We just have to cover the local price action. Shout out to Brillo, said, what's up, Frankie? I'm so bored right now. I want the news to come in the next few days so we can actually get some movement soon. Yeah, shout out to Brillo, just kind of waking up. I'm like, oh, man, it's just so boring. Yeah, shout out to Philip says, for me, looks the same as 2022 before Terra Luna. Yeah, I mean, the one thing I will say here is, we've talked about the psychology of the market as well as narratives. We haven't really had a super bearish narrative come in yet. So it's maybe right here, I think this was Terra Luna, could be similar, right? I mean, this price action's been almost 1-to-1 so far. Right. Try to get a little closer there. Yeah, I mean, kind of almost 1-to-1. And what we would hope for is the fact that we do not have to lose the 47K POC, right? Maybe the bearish news comes in, oh my God, right? And then everybody starts calling Bitcoin dead, which I hope happens if we have to come and play with these lower levels. I hope people start saying Bitcoin's dead, it's never coming back, because typically that is where you are on bottom watch, right? Bottom watch 2026. Even if we have to go lower, right? Hopefully we can start to see those bottom signals down here when everybody thinks it's dead, and then we can start talking about upwards price action, and hopefully it just repeats very similarly to the 4-year cycle and how it has been in the past. As long as we don't have to lose that 47K POC, guys, that would be super, super. Man, I don't know. Maybe we see. I don't know. I don't know what the narrative will be, right, if we're going to get it. But if it is, it's going to be very scary. And, buying those lows is going to feel like a terrible idea. When I was buying down here, I felt like an absolute moron. I was like, oh, my God, man. Regulation, Terra Luna. Oh, my God, now FTX is collapsing. Oh, my God, maybe I am an idiot for buying down here. But what happened? Everybody thought it was dead. Should have been looking for bottoms, and bada boom, right? Hopefully, it's very, very similar. Let's see. Shout out to New Earth Guardian, said, when we see big fat bottoms, we get sprung. Shout out to New Earth Guardian. We love those fat, juicy, saucy, just jiggly bottoms. Let's see. People are talking about Bitcoin literally collapsing and going to zero. Shout out to New Earth Guardian. That is what we want to hear. That is what we want to hear. I'm still holding Safe Moon. Shout out to Levy. I'll say it, guys. I'm not scared. I still hold my Safe Moon too. It's probably never coming back. Don't you think we can go to 7? Shout out to JP, says, don't you think we can go to 78K to form higher low to then bottom for a bit, 48 to 50K, then eventually go lower mid this year or end of the year? Shout out to JP. Yeah, I mean, definitely possible. I hate to just sit up here and just talk about every scenario we could see happen, right? Like, at the end of the day, all everybody's trying to do by looking at the charts is make educated guesses, which, of course, right, when you have an educated enough guess, you can nail the moves, like we have in the recent past here. But at the end of the day, guys, there's so many paths this can take. And that's why, every day there's new information on the charts. So, can we go up to 78K, which I guess is kind of what you're talking about here, 78, I would actually look more towards about 80 to 80,500. But, can it look like this? Yes. Can it look like this? Yes, right? Just like sweep these highs and then come down. Could we just grind lower for the daily bull div? Yes. Can we get a big short squeeze here and retrace into macro golden pocket retracement, 786 retracements? Yes, right? There's so many different opportunities or situations that we can play out here, but this is guessing, right? And I think it's okay to speculate on this stuff. But really what I like to do here is call the high probability moves, right? Which it requires us to kind of zoom in here, right? Daily red dot prints, very unlikely that daily red dot is just a massive move to the upside. It's more likely that would create more local downside. So, at the end of the day, if we get a massive bounce from here, you could start to look for maybe a massive golden pocket 786 retracement, which could still technically be a lower high. But this is just so far away, so speculative, and there's just not enough information on the charts to say, like, this is going to happen. So what we do, we zoom in locally. We try to find those local moves. I mean, at the end of the day, we make money on those local moves anyway. But, yeah, it's like I try to front run the actual confirmations, right, which, would look a lot nicer to me if we could take out that low, put in the daily bull div, right? At that point, it's like, all right, cool. I always point to this price action back here. Okay, now we have a daily bull div into major support, which was the 50-week moving average, as well as our macro 786 retracement right here, right? So, like, we know we have massive support down here. Yes, you can get bounces here. I think we took a long here as well, but the anticipation is lower high, lower low, right? Money flow is in the red. Then we finally get the massive bullish divergences into the 786 50-week moving average. And then you start to see money flow come up. At that point, it's like, well, hey, now if we get back inside this range, money flow is crossed into the green, indicating a massive daily trend continuation to the upside. We look for all-time highs. That money flow is indeed correct for higher lows and higher highs, new all-time highs to come. Absolutely beautiful. But down here right now, again, I've talked a lot about kind of letting price action settle. Anything can happen, right? So I hate to just bring up every single scenario. I don't know exactly what it'll play out like, right? I could draw 7 scenarios. One of them is probably going to be the one that plays out. But right now, it's like I don't have the high time frame bull divs here. I don't have even like massive 4-hour bull divs on this low. It was kind of just capitulation, bounce. We need some kind of we need more information here to make a high probability call. So, we'll see what happens. I just hate to come up here and like pull up every single scenario. Like people will say, can't we go back up for a retracement to $100,000? Well, yeah. I mean, you got a golden pocket there. 50-week moving average comes in there. I'd say between about 97 to 100K. But again, right, that doesn't mean that you have to get up there, right? A lot of people over here are like, well, don't we have to go to the 50-week moving average? And it's like, well, it would be likely. But imagine if you just sit there and say, well, 50-week moving average has to get hit. We would have missed the beautiful shorts at $98,000, right? So I could say, hey, maybe we go up here, maybe we go up there. If I see confirmations on the local levels, I'm going to take the trades because there's obviously massive money to be made. You want to kind of shift from a prediction mindset to a probability mindset, right? Let's see. I just don't see how we don't test 59K again. Shout out to crypto and independent crypto. I hope that's my preferred case. Looks like a bear pennant, and with things falling lately, probably going down more. Yeah, of course. From a pattern perspective, this does look very bull pennant-y, of course. Could try to pull a measured move here. Interesting. Right into the next key level of support. Again, I'm not a pattern trader. I would never look at this and be like, bear pennant short. Not that it won't play out. I just look at this as a way to describe price action. So yeah, but definitely a bull pennant. Bear pennant, sorry. Shout out to Darren. Said, okay, I'm back. Frankie, can you do some BTCTA, please? Hashtag when BTCTA. Shout out to Darren does things. We'll get to Bitcoin right after this. New Earth Guardian said, Frankie Candles, no hat. Bottom signal printing 100%. That's it, guys. That's my subliminal message. Show a little scalp. Bottom's in. I'm just kidding. Trend can be your friend. Yes, absolutely. Shout out to Jake from Reddit. You still holding the short from 70K? Shout out to OCB. My shorts are from $98,000 and $91,000, from right up here and right up here. Are you talking about the short from last week? No, my short from last week here at 69K got stopped out. Unshockingly. Hello from Germany. Shout out to Kim from Germany. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. I closed my 88K short. Shout out to New Earth Guardian. Let me tell you this right now, brother. Close your short from 88K. Let me draw it out. $88,000. Bada boom. New Earth, whether Bitcoin does this, I know you're probably rooting for Bitcoin to do this, but whether Bitcoin does this or this, amazing trade. Amazing trade. If it continues down, I don't know if this is your mindset or not, right? But if Bitcoin continues down, do not let that stop you from understanding that you made an amazing trade here. And not only did you close it in profit, you closed it at a very big area of support. We are inside big support right now, guys. So shout out to New Earth Guardian. Don't let, because I just know this happens to a lot of people. I know what happened to me in the beginning of my trading journey, right? If we continued down there, the next short that I would take, I'd be like, that's it, I'm holding this. It's going to dump again. Don't let that leak into your next trade. This is an absolutely beautiful trade, bro. Pat yourself on the back, whether price action rips or dips more. This was an awesome trade. Just because if it dips again, it doesn't mean that you closed your trade too early. You made a beautiful, 30% move that you could probably repeat time and time again. So nice work. Shout out to New Earth. Wouldn't you just hedge up? Shout out to Independent Crypto. Yeah, you could hedge to the upside for sure. I'm not personally holding along right now. It's not because I'm guaranteeing price will dump. It's just I haven't really been presented with a setup. I probably would be in a hedge long here if we had not front ran this golden pocket. But we did. That just is what it is. AI Frankie, because no hat. Oh, man. How's the forehead looking, guys? Is it getting bigger? I think it is getting bigger over time. The older I get, the bigger my forehead. Is your forehead supposed to grow when you get older? Because this thing is growing. This thing is growing. I feel like my forehead used to end like right here. Now it's just moving up and up and up and up. I don't know what's up with that. Only things that grow on my body right now are my forehead and my calves. Shout out to Mr. Markets at BTC is going to the moon. No, literally, and Mars eventually. It has all the right stuff to be the first interplanetary reserve currency. Well, shout out to Elon Musk. If he can get us to Mars, we can start. We can start getting Bitcoin to be an interplanetary currency. That would be nice. Shout out to Roboballs. Nice name. Says, no, Frankie, you're a handsome guy. Own it. Shout out to Roboballs. We're just mogging. We're just mogging here, guys. Next time I'm just going to come on with the shirt off. I'm just kidding. Shout out to Roboballs. I appreciate you, bro. All right, guys. Receding hairline, bro. I feel you. Oh, man. The pain of being in your 30s. You'll go bald, Frankie. That would be... I would never be able to take my hat off again, guys. I don't have a great shaped head. I would not look good bald. A lot of people, look good bald, but I would not. Draw a couple rabbits on your forehead. From a distance, they'll look like hairs. Shout out to Carlos. That's a good one, bro. Dad jokes for the win, baby. Your eyebrows sprout like some rogue of man hairs, dude. Oh man, it is crazy. Like old men, their eyebrows are just out of control. Like ear hairs coming out, eyebrows looking like caterpillars. It's kind of crazy. When you buy more face soap than shampoo, you're cooked. I don't shampoo my heel. You're just bald. You don't shampoo your head. You just shampoo your face. Oh man, I don't even have the beard to make up for a bald head. But anyway, guys, I actually do have a meeting here in 3 minutes. So I have to hop out of here, guys. I just didn't want to skip another live stream because obviously yesterday was a bank holiday. But those are the key levels I'm looking at. I will be live tomorrow earlier during the day. But yeah, I cannot miss this meeting. This is extremely important. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Get these key levels marked off on your chart. If you just tuned in, scrub back to the beginning of the stream. Here we are at almost exactly an hour. The first actual short stream we've ever done here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. But thank you guys all for tuning in. And hey, an hour you could rewatch the whole stream. So it's probably got a lot more rewatchability than our typical 4-hour streams. But thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out with us here for the first short stream ever of 2026. Probably the only one that we'll ever do. But I'll be here with you guys tomorrow. Shout out to Rudy. Shout out to Kodak. Shout out to Solomon Tommy. Shout out to Jake from State Farm's cousin, Jake from Reddit. Neon Visual. Space Hut Blue? I thought that said something different. But shout out to Space. Shout out to Carlos. Shout out to N4. And last but not least, shout out to Neon Visual. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you tomorrow, probably around 1:30. We'll see what happens. I'm going to try to go to, live as early as I possibly can. That's all I got for today's live stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong. It's not a toupee, I swear.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, on the road.